I am k.Vasanthi, Assistant Professor of English. Today we are going to see about the poems of Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was born in Hyderabad on 30th February 1879. Her father, Agornath Chattopadhyay, was a Bengali Brahmin who was the principal of the Nizam's College in Hyderabad. She was educated in Madras, London, and Cambridge. Following her time in England, where she worked as a suffragist, she was drawn to the Indian National Congress movement for India's independence from British rule. She became a part of the Indian nationalist movement and became a follower of Mahatma Gandhi and his idea of Swaraj. She was arrested along with other Congress leaders, including Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Madan Mohan Malaviya, for participating in 1930 Salt March. She was one of the major figures to have led the civil disobedience movement and Quit India movement. She faced repeated arrestings by the British authorities during the time and even spent over 21 months in jail. She was appointed the president of the Indian National Congress in 1925 and later became the governor of the United Provinces in 1947, becoming the first woman to hold the office of governor in the Dominion of India. Her work as a poet earned her the sobriquet the Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi because of color, imagery, and lyrical quality of her poetry. Naidu's poetry includes both children's poem and other written on more serious themes including patriotism, romance, and tragedy. Published in 1912 in the bazaars of Hyderabad, remains one of her most popular poems. She died of cardiac arrest on 2nd March 1949 at the Government House in Lucknow. She utilized her poetry and oratory skills to promote women's rights alongside the nationalist movement. In 1902, Naidu entered the world of politics after being urged by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, an important leader of the nationalist movement. In 1906, Naidu spoke to the Social Council of Calcutta in order to advocate for the education of Indian women. In her speech, Naidu stressed that the success of the whole woman relied upon the woman. Naidu claimed that the true nation builders were women, not men, and that without women's active cooperation, the nationalist movement would be in vain. Naidu's speech argued that Indian nationalism depended on women's rights and that the liberation of India could not be separated from the liberation of women. The women's movement developed parallel to the independence movement for this reason. Her poetry was written in English and usually took the form of lyric poetry in the tradition of British Romanticism, which she was sometimes challenged to reconcile with her Indian nationalist politics. She was known for her vivid use of rich sensory images in her writing and for her lush depictions of India. Her first book of poems was published in London in 1905, titled The Golden Threshold. The publication was suggested by Edmund Gosse and bore an introduction by Arthur Symons. It also included a sketch of Naidu as a teenager in a ruffled white dress drawn by John Butler Yeats. Her second and most strongly nationalist book of poems, The Bird of Time, was published in 1912. It was published in both London and New York and includes in the bazaars of Hyderabad. So these are some of the contributions of Naidu in the world of poem. Thank you.